Well, guys, we're going to be kicking this off real soon here. Just doing a couple things real quick. Just getting some stuff done. Yeah, we'll just grab something here like this. I don't know who the hell that is. Talking about Bitcoin ETF. Hey, are we back? We're back, man. We're back. What are we back for? Just hanging on. Just doing my thing. How's it going? How's it going? What's new? Just sitting here playing the game, playing along. How about you? This is not a joke. This is not a joke, folks. Let's see here. Let's see. ETCMC. Yeah, there we go. And I got one more. TCMC. There we go. Everybody that follows that will follow that. Hey, 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 hey. We're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. As you can see, we posted up here a second ago. And we're going to be doing a couple different things and talking a little bit for a little while here. I got some free time. And that's that. So, Ogre, what's going on? What's new, Ogre? You want to tell me what's up? That would be awesome. I will be running my live control room here in about 2 seconds. Duplicate. Gotta go over here and do my thing. Well, I'm going to do a pop-out. Hang on, folks. Pop-out chat. That's what I want. I know this way if I can answer you, I will. I don't care about that. I'm not doing auto-generate anything. Anyway, so the best thing that I've done, and the funniest thing that I've done recently, and I'm going to jump in here real quick, is this short. Because people seem to love it. How true is this? You can't make that shit up. You just can't. You can't make that shit up at all. There's no reason to make it up that shit at all. That is just insanity. I love that idea. That is awesome sauce 1,000 times over. I have to change this to turn it off my top chat here. Oh, I almost forgot to do something as far as, you know, a couple other things here I wanted to do at Red PAN. There we go. Mining. My brain is not working completely. I gotta figure this one out here. Oh my god. Oh. Anyway, here we'll get it done. So I'm going to talk about a couple things here, and we're going to move on real fast. Let's see what the notifications bring. Good stuff, Robert. Hey. I got some good stuff back here. It's cool. I'm not looking for donations. I don't care. Everything's free. We're going to check out the Discord and see what's going on in there real fast. I don't have a lot of people in there yet, but I am growing. So, as you can see, the big talk has been ETCMC. I love this. It really is a great project, but I'm not going to fucking chill for it, folks. Okay? There are some problems with it. There are problems. No doubt in my mind, there are problems with this. We have come to determine that probably 90% of the claims filed are manually paid out at this point in time. There's not real great volume on this, but it doesn't mean that I hate the thing. It doesn't mean that I hate it. If you guys got a question or something, you want to ask me something, you know, put it on the air, you can email me at PelishMiner, all one word, PELISH, miner @gmail.com. So right now, currently, there's $114,000 in trading for ETC POW. However, the entire market as a whole is kind of looking crappy. I really wish Solana would take over Ethereum. That's something I can't stand, Ethereum. For you Ethereum maxis out there, you can forget it. I've been talking about some various other things too as well. So if you got questions for me, by all means, throw them at me. I don't have a whole lot going on, but let's go in here and we're gonna go into YouTube and see if we can find some goodies as far as what Crypto World has said and done today. Crypto World CNBC is see what's new on that channel. CNBC television. Let's see here. Well, of course, I'm going to take a listen to this real quick. You guys can join me. It talks about MicroStrategy, buying more Bitcoin.
Today, Bitcoin's 2023 rally drives some of the stock market's biggest gains. Data reveals crypto users lost nearly $2 billion to hacks, scams, and exploits this year. And we take a look back at regulatory developments for crypto in the U.S. in 2023 and talk to experts about what we can expect in 2024. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Talia Kaplan. Major cryptocurrencies are in the green this morning. As of noon Eastern, Bitcoin climbed nearly 2%, trading above the $43,000 mark. Ether soared more than 6.5%, trading above $2,300. Solana, however, dropped nearly 6%, but still traded above the one.
Keep in mind, this is like a day behind, and every time I see this chick with when Chump Change does this stuff, I can only stare right here. Sorry. I don't mean to be that way, but it's true. That's what happens.
$100 mark. Solana has been the big outperformer this month, up 78% compared to Ether's 15% rise. Now, traders are positioning for a catch-up rally in ETH, as well as an upside from the next Ethereum upgrade in January and the potential approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs in the U.S. Okay, let's take a look at the performance of crypto-focused stocks this year, as shares of Coinbase, MicroStrategy, and the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust performed substantially better than Bitcoin, rising more than 300% in value.
What's that? Got milk? Yeah, there we go. All right, do we got milk? Ogre wants to know if we've got milk. You should see some of the other videos when it's low cut. It's insane. I'm not trying to be that guy that's, trying to be condescending towards any woman or anything of that nature, but the fact of the matter is, man sees pretty lady, you get it. Ogre wants some cookies now. I totally understand he wants some cookies. You have to go find some other videos. But speaking of what they're talking about, Coinbase, I know that stocks are not primarily everybody's thing here, but if you bought Coinbase 6 months ago, you would have a significant amount of cash. She's right. It is outperforming it. Mara, all those. I can even show you what I'm talking about. So we'll just do this real quick. .com. All right. So let's look at Coinbase real quick. So this is something that you did 6 months ago. With today's prices, it's insane. So we'll go roll it back here 6 months. It did do a high, and then it did a dip. Right? If you go year to date, and you were all the way back here almost a year ago, you could have got Coinbase at $33 a pop. I guess it's all about timing. Just saying, I got in, right around here and then through there. I'm in it. I personally do own this, so just saying. Mara is another one of those that you could have done, which just significantly blows everything out of the water. You could have really banged it out with Mara, and I got a chance to do that. I'm very happy with what I've done. So, it is my opinion, and this is not financial advice. There's still room to grow here if you're a stock person that likes crypto stocks because you understand the crypto market. Now, we're going to get back to milk bags because Ogre wants me to.
Bitcoin miner Marathon Digital soared more than 750%, while Bitcoin rallied 160% for the year. Not only have those stocks outperformed the cryptocurrency, but they've been among the biggest gainers across the entire U.S. market. According to FactSet, the 4 stocks tied to Bitcoin were among the 8 best performers when it comes to publicly traded U.S. companies with a market value of at least $5 billion. The crypto boom represents a major bounce back from last year when coin prices plummeted amid several scandals and bankruptcies, including the collapse of FTX. Crypto-related equities fell too. Now, one of the biggest drivers for Bitcoin this year was an easing of the Fed's rate hikes, which creates a more attractive case for riskier assets. Experts say buying was also sparked by the potential of the launch of spot Bitcoin ETFs in the U.S. early next year. Amid growing expectations that the SEC will soon approve a spot Bitcoin ETF, MicroStrategy said that it added more to its Bitcoin holdings. This regulatory filing from today revealed that since the end of last month, MicroStrategy acquired about 14,620 Bitcoins for more than $615 million in cash. Michael Saylor, the firm's executive chairman, posted on X today that MicroStrategy bought the Bitcoin at an average price of $42,110 per coin.
Could you imagine having that much Bitcoin? In all seriousness, could you imagine having that much Bitcoin? I get the point behind it, but wow. Jesus. Holy man, wow. They're going to get up here, we're going to go through here, then we're going to go through this, and we'll probably go through the regulation portion of this a bit. But this is what I want to focus on. That's nuts. And they're pretty much telling you, without a doubt, you know, because this is mainstream media at CNBC, that they know that it's going to get approved. Now, I got jokes, seriously. Gary Gensler is just waiting to make sure his job and the contract he's got post-Biden era is secure. So that's, once he gets that, you know, in writing behind those closed doors, more than likely, I don't know for certain, but I'm just saying more than likely that is probably a big part of the deal of getting this thing approved and through the door. Because, let's face it, Elizabeth Warren does not want any of this to happen. She is totally for the banks. She's a bank shill. She's paid and lobbied by the banks. That's common sense. Just saying. It's ridiculous, these people. But, you know, hey, money buys money, I guess.
The recent purchase pushes MicroStrategy's holdings to more than 189,000 Bitcoins, which were acquired at an aggregate purchase price of approximately $5.9 billion, bought at an average price of around $31,000 per Bitcoin. The software firm started buying the cryptocurrency in 2020. That bet produced a more than 350% boost for investors this year, outpacing almost all U.S. companies valued at $5 billion or more. As of noon Eastern, MicroStrategy shares jumped 6% compared to the day before. Last, crypto users lost nearly $2 billion to hacks, scams, and exploits in 2023. That's according to data from Web3 firm DeFi, which shows the figure includes 455 exploits, including phishing incidents and rug pulls. The database shows multi-chain lost the most funds this year, more than $230 million. Now, we reached out to DeFi and didn't hear back right away, but according to CoinDesk, DeFi's annual report notes that this year's losses represent about half of last year's, not taking into account the $40 billion lost to the fall of stablecoin issuer Terraform Labs, crypto lender Celsius, and crypto exchange FTX. The reduction is reportedly in large part due to the implementation of improved security protocols and overall decreased activity in the market. All right, turning to crypto regulation for our main story. The industry had high hopes that we'd see meaningful regulation from Congress in 2023. Instead, we saw piecemeal action from the SEC, while proposed crypto rules in the House failed to reach the floor for a vote. So will we see progress in 2024? Crypto World's Tanea McKeel spoke with experts in the nation's capital to find out.
Crypto regulation in the U.S. is at a critical juncture. It's been a year since the spectacular collapse of FTX, whose disgraced leader, Sam Bankman-Fried, had just become one of the biggest political donors. In the wake of that scandal, hopes were high that the industry would finally get the legal clarity it had been asking for.
You would think that an FTX happens, that's a huge wake-up call for regulators and policymakers, that we need clarity on regulation.
Instead, 2023 is marked by a regulatory crackdown on crypto companies that's been a dark cloud over the industry. a piecemeal collection of individual enforcement actions, civil lawsuits, and criminal cases. Crypto investors and businesses insist that to truly move forward, they need the regulatory clarity from Washington.
Congress has become very busy with a lot that's going on in the geopolitical world. There's a lot going on. We had the debt issues, we had the Speaker of the House issues, and the FTX and Binance probably made some people even more cautious about the crypto markets, and maybe they don't want to give it the legitimacy that it might get because of regulation.
That clarity didn't happen in 2023, but as we enter the new year, and with Bitcoin soaring back above 40K as investors pour into the market again, what does the industry think should be a priority for lawmakers in 2024?
I personally still think it shouldn't be. Crypto, in my opinion, was never meant to be regulated. Okay? It was supposed to be complete financial freedom, allow people to learn from their own mistakes, but I don't like it when people get ripped off either. So these guys, the wheels of justice or the wheels of government, they move really slow. Obviously, we all know this, right? So when you're looking at this and you hear about these guys talking, it kind of kills me because they don't understand it. And of course, you had SBF, who was their advisor. See how well that worked out. So these guys, they don't even have a clue on who to listen to anywhere close to anything whatsoever. If I were them, I'd be talking to like maybe Brian Armstrong, but I can't say that for certain. Sorry. He might even screw us over because, of course, Brian Armstrong is now going to be owned by BlackRock, meaning Coinbase. All right. They're going to have a major significant influence over it. BlackRock wants your crypto. It's obvious, right? There's no doubt in my mind. So I'm going to continue here.
Especially as regions around the world lay out clear crypto guidelines.
Chairman McHenry in the House Financial Services Committee has legislation that creates a path for crypto market structure and clearly delineates the jurisdiction between the CFTC and the SEC, what constitutes a digital commodity versus a digital security.
Congressman McHenry also put forth stablecoin legislation that has gained traction in the House. 2024 is an especially critical year for these bills. If they don't pass by year-end, they'll have to be reintroduced when Congress opens in 2025. But McHenry, a powerful ally for crypto, won't be there. He's retiring at the end of his current term. Now, there's also movement in the Senate, where Senator Elizabeth Warren is pushing forward with a bill meant to crack down on crypto crime. That bill has gotten pushback from the industry, but is also gaining co-sponsors.
She just needs to go away. Just saying. Anybody with any brains would know that Elizabeth Warren just needs to go away. Okay? She is no better than Nancy Pelosi. And, these guys, that's how these guys make their money. They set laws, and so therefore they're the insiders, and so, which is illegal for us, but it's perfectly okay for them, right?
She does believe that there should be more ways to fend off bad actors, though.
We need clear rules of the road here so that bad actors can't access the space, so that it's easier to prevent some of these things from happening in advance rather than just coming, after the fact to bring in enforcement actions.
And the crypto lobbying machine is still pushing to make the U.S. a crypto hub.
I think we do have some work to do, but I think the good news is we have so many people within the crypto industry that want to constructively engage with government, and they're working together with the Blockchain Association and with other organizations in Washington working on crypto policy. And so I'm really optimistic as we head into 2024 that we're going to have some of the most constructive dialogue we've had with government yet.
What we've been saying for so long now that regulation in the United States is critical to keep companies here. We hear from companies with some regularity that it doesn't make sense for them to serve U.S. customers or to operate here in the United States. Chairman Gensler himself has acknowledged that it's much harder to bring enforcement actions and to have oversight.
But how many lawsuits has he lost? Right? It's harder to bring enforcement actions, and how many times are you going to lose, Gary? I mean, look at that. Does he look like the preacher from Poltergeist? Seriously. He's like that creepy uncle that just won't go away. I am not kidding you. Look at this guy. I mean, I don't know, man. He's just spooky. I wouldn't leave any child near him. Just saying.
Over exchanges and companies that are operating outside of the United States.
In 2023, big brands like Coinbase and Ripple threatened to leave the U.S. if legislators and regulators failed to bring clarity. So far, that hasn't happened, but more companies could shift priorities to expand overseas. There is one area where the U.S. is poised to expand crypto investment with the help of the SEC: spot Bitcoin ETFs.
My sense is that we'll see in the next couple months an approval from the SEC. Let's say, for the sake of argument, they reject the spot ETF application and it goes back to the federal courts and they're struck down again. It's a pretty significant black mark on the agency to lose on kind of the same issue twice. It calls into question the judgment of the agency at that point.
Even if the SEC cedes ground on the ETF fight, the agency seems largely undeterred from other crypto legal battles, even after courts ruled against them in cases involving Grayscale and Ripple. In 2024, the regulator plans to move ahead with enforcement actions against Kraken, Coinbase, and Binance. That last one is, of course, separate from the multi-billion-dollar settlement the world's largest crypto exchange faced in November. Many people view Binance's historic settlement from just a couple weeks ago as an opportunity to finally close a painful chapter of crypto history as it opens a new one. If the SEC approves a Bitcoin ETF, as many expect will happen soon, it'll allow a new wave of institutional money that's been sitting on the sidelines to enter the market, and it'll be impaired.
It'll blow up the market. I've had enough, but you get the idea. I mean, there's that whole thing going on. I got something I want to grab here real quick. Let's see here, paste and go. We're going to talk about this real quick. If I don't know, yes, there is a video here, so give it a minute. I don't really want to hear the ad, to be honest with you. So, and unfortunately, it's just going to play through, right? But Kathy Wood goes into Bitcoin futures ETF and dumps Grayscale. She filed for her own. Why would she want to keep it? Hang on a second. She filed for her own, right? So why would she want to keep theirs? Or, you know, why would she want to... You see what I'm saying here? So let me get this started real quick, and I'm going to step out for a minute and go from there.
Most analysts think it's likely to come before January 10th. I think it's likely to come on the 8th. And so the near-term price certainly reflects that expectation. So we may even see a news selling event here. However, over kind of the medium term, the ETF unlocks whole new classes of capital that otherwise wouldn't be able to enter the market, that haven't been able to allocate to Bitcoin. So I think you will see structural flows that will be positive for Bitcoin. The halving I'm probably less constructive on. That I think makes a very marginal difference. You're only seeing a small effect on supply in terms of marginal supply creation. So the halving is, I would say, less of an exciting development, but the ETF is something we've been anticipating and waiting for literally 10 years at this point. And so you can see that excitement expressed in the price of Bitcoin in recent months.
What about, you mentioned a potential selling event. What would cause investors to either take profits or get out of certain crypto assets at this point?
Well, of course, there's tax selling potentially to end the year here, and we've seen the market give up some of those gains in recent days. But just fundamentally, it's about expectations versus catalysts. And the market at this point thoroughly expects the ETF. And I think the big rally we've seen from kind of the 20s, low 30s into the sort of mid 40s for Bitcoin.
I think, honestly, we're going to blow up here a little bit more just before the halving. Just saying. I'm sorry. You know, so that's just my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm going to be right. I think we'll touch like 49 or 50,000 in the next 3 weeks. It's just an opinion, but we're going to drop off and go from there. Yeah, you tell him, buddy. Sorry, I guess I'm holding on to my son, so, you know, got to do my daddy duties. Huh. So, yeah, that's what I think. Just my opinion.
And I think that's almost entirely ETF based. And so, you know, on day of, it might be a bit of a pop, but I think the effect might be muted. Where I expect to see the price developing in the medium term, that's where I'm excited. that's when I think you see RIAs and other kind of financial entities that previously weren't able to necessarily recommend Bitcoin to their clients get the ability to do that with the ETFs. I think we'll see a marketing rampage from the big ETF sponsors, some of the largest financial institutions in the world. And that's when I think this thing really takes off as we enter and throughout 2024.
Got to get your reaction, Nick, to Barry Silbert. He was the CEO and founder of Grayscale, parent digital currency group. Well, it turns out that he is now gone, and he's going to be succeeded by Mark Shifke, the chief financial officer of DCG. The president, so that's Mark Murphy, the president of DCG, also resigned from the Grayscale board. Now, Grayscale didn't cite a reason for the board changes, but they are effective January 1st, and that's according to a filing with the SEC. So we're just learning that today. Does that provoke anything that you might want to share with us, Anu?
Yeah, I mean, look, as of right now, DCG hasn't said anything about the resignations. Barry, of course, stalwart character in the crypto markets and built, effectively the largest conglomerate in the crypto space over the last decade, one of the most interesting and successful businesses in crypto. It's a shame to see him step back, and I think, ultimately a shame to see the dire straits that DCG has found itself in with the NYAG case against them. We don't know if that's related to the departure. It could actually simply be something as straightforward as the SEC asking Grayscale to have Barry step aside, maybe to sweeten the deal for their pending ETF application. So if I had to guess, that's what I would, list as probably the most likely cause of his departure. But ultimately,
Yeah, because the SEC lost. Sore losers, hey, just do this and then we'll do what you're asking for us. We lost in court. I mean, we can make that assumption, right? We really can. So it's just one of those things that kills me. Anyway, let me continue here. We only got, about 6 more minutes left? Yeah, you tell them, buddy.
It's interesting that virtually every single main character, so to speak, in the crypto space over the last 2 years has now left or ended up in prison in some cases, or been forced to sell the business. So I guess the lesson is just never be the main character.
I mean, does it make you think any differently about the underlying asset or about these ETFs and their potential for approval, particularly given that we know that there had been discussions between Grayscale and the regulators as to, redemptions and what that would look like and how that process would work? It was different for Grayscale than for some of the other ETF sponsors.
Yeah, I would say Grayscale has a less straightforward path to the ETF here, even though their victory in the courts was the main catalyst of this whole wave of ETFs being approved. And the jury is still out as to whether Grayscale itself will be in the first wave of those ETF approvals and how exactly that GBTC to an ETF conversion will occur. I
think this guy looks like he's about 12, apparently with a mustache, just an opinion.
Is part of a sweetener in order to make that process smoother, effectively. But yeah, jury is still out actually on whether GBTC itself will be in that first wave of approvals, I think, with the 13 sponsors currently pending in their applications.
Nick, even with a rising Bitcoin prices, it's not like the industry itself has been without its challenges, significant regulatory hurdles. You talked about the one seen by DCG and Barry Silbert, let alone what we've seen at Binance, for example, as well. If you're speaking to a group of investors and you're telling them how to perform due diligence on counterparties, on places to invest, how do they take these issues into stock?
Yeah, I mean, the defanging of Binance and Binance gradually losing market share, as I think they likely will after the case against CZ and the organization, I think is actually positive for the development of regulated spot markets in the US. And I think it was the last kind of gray swan hanging over the industry. And so I think we're looking at a more mature, more regulated, more surveilled, and more domestic market for the Bitcoin, for the asset, which is positive. And I think that was sort of the last barrier left to fall before we got these ETF approvals. Now, in terms of looking at these exchanges, one phenomenon we see now emerging both spontaneously at the industry level and at the policy level, is the notion of proof of reserve, which is a accounting and cryptographic procedure to prove that the exchange has the assets that they claim they have. And if these had been in place during debacles like FTX or previous exchange insolvencies, those wouldn't have occurred, or at least investors who have been armed with more information. So I would look to exchanges to be doing these proofs of reserve, or look to regulators asking these exchanges to do that. I would look to exchanges undertaking newer, more modern practices like segregating custody and exchange, which is obviously the way it's done in the traditional market.
Now, there's a good idea. Making it, actually you having an exchange make it your keys, your crypto, right? Not charging you for moving it off your ledger or your Trezor or your Tandem wallets. That would be a good thing. In my opinion, that would be great if you could get that done. But I don't see them being able to implement it. And as far as FTX is concerned, Sam Bankman-Fried or SBF, he would have done what he was going to do anyways. So there was no stopping that. It was the big scam. I mean, let's face the facts, right?
So overall, I would say we're seeing a more mature market. We're seeing these exchanges develop alongside the way that they look in the traditional space. So overall, I think very positive development for the industry.
What about outside of Bitcoin? We talk so much about Bitcoin and the rise that it's seen despite a lot of these regulatory and legal issues and exchange issues. Solana, Ethereum, a lot of conversation about other crypto assets. Where do you stand in picking your spots?
Well, look, it's been Bitcoin's year, of course, with the ETF, but it's also been Solana's year. They've recovered from this dark cloud hanging over them, with a lot of people felt their fate was tied up in the fate of FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. They've clearly moved on from that hangover and done tremendously well in recent months. And we're seeing a DeFi ecosystem emerge on Solana, which people are excited about. Ethereum, I think, is caught in the middle. They're pursuing a more challenging, arguably scaling approach with focusing on rollups and L2s, which, I think is more difficult in the near term, and fees are still higher on Ethereum in the near term as they execute on their roadmap. So I would say most investors are now looking to see how Ethereum reacts to the emergence of competitors like Solana in 2024, how they're going to execute on their roadmap, whether they're able to do that, whether they're able to seize the narrative back from some of these newer competitors like Solana. That's kind of the big question that's hanging over these markets. I'm optimistic ultimately that they'll be able to do well. From our perspective, we just look to the entrepreneurs to tell us where they'd like to build, and we see founders building on an array of different blockchains. Certainly Solana has a lot of hype and excitement and focus right now, but the number one blockchain where our startups and our founders build remains Ethereum. And so I'm still optimistic about the long-term fate of that blockchain.
Yeah, well, the Bloomberg Crypto Index is above its 2017-18 high, not quite up to its 2021 high. It's got a long way to go for that. But Nick, the hypothetical situation where all of the ETFs are approved, right? I mean, we have no idea if that'll be the case, if one will be approved, if they 2, 3, 0. Which one would you recommend? Would you recommend all of them equally?
Well, I'm a Fidelity alum, so of course I have to be faithful to my colleagues and peers at Fidelity. We're investors in the Bitwise company at the Castle Island level, but ultimately, I think we're just excited to see this major step being made. This is the most important development in the history of Bitcoin, and we've been waiting, as I said, for literally 10 years. And so, regardless of which one does well, the whole industry benefits from investors being able to get more efficient, more direct exposure to the asset, and getting these gigantic sponsors on board like the BlackRocks and the Fidelities and the Invescos of the world. So overall, can't say I necessarily recommend one, but really excited to see this development.
But it's funny.
Before she says anything, I definitely know, like most of us, that big banks want in. They want to make that money. They want to take your money. They want to abuse your money. They want to do everything with your money, but let you have it. Let's face it. If you try to go withdraw $2,000 or $3,000 out of your bank account anywhere, they're going to ask you, what do you want it for? Or they'll try and tell you they don't have enough in the bank. But there's plenty in that vault. No doubt in my mind there's plenty in that vault. How many tellers do you have? What are you, divvying up 100 grand? I mean, I don't know. It's ridiculous. It really, truly is. I'm just saying.
You say direct because it's in a wrapper, isn't it? I mean, this was initially an industry that was in the face of finance, if you will. Why buy an ETF when you can just buy Bitcoin?
Yeah, I meant direct as in compared to the incumbent ETFs, which are futures-based and certainly less efficient in terms of the exposure. But you're right. I mean, there is still a role for spot exchanges to play. And I think we will see the spot exchanges challenged by virtue of low expense ratio ETFs, enabling people to very efficiently allocate.
Okay, I've had enough of this torture for this guy. Okay? No joke. I've had enough of the torture. You see me and my boy here hanging out. So I have questions, okay? Honestly. And since I don't represent ETCMC or ETC I just have questions real quick. Where in the hell is the mining pool? Are you trying to tell me that the software, the application you guys created was the mining pool? Because I don't see it. I want to know where the mining pool is. Why not jump up on Hero Miners or something, or ask them to do something, or our plant, when's Mexi Global? Okay, these are the kinds of things I want to know, right? Okay, so we already know about Kathy Wood and all that good jazz. She dumped a bunch of crap, and that's all right. There's another one in here I kind of want to take a quick look at with, which is really kind of goofy in a sense. India to ban 9 crypto exchanges, including Binance and Kraken? Whoa, that's a big deal. That's a big hit. Seriously. I mean, I could read this off. I don't think there's a video for it, but he's telling you right here, in the past year, there's been certainly been a big one for digital assets and regulation at a global scale. Countries continue around the world are establishing their framework, and the industry is seeking to integrate. However, the process has not been smooth in some regions. Obviously, specifically, India is now set to ban 9 crypto exchanges, right, due to non-compliance with its money laundering prevention and regulation legislation. So, in other words, somebody thought it was a great idea, right, to, try and bang this out. And they're going to go through here just among the few of them. Binance, KuCoin, Kraken. There's 3 big exchanges. The 2 bigger of the 2 right there, Kraken and Binance. And it's my opinion, when the Bitcoin ETF, and I'm just speculating, so this is not factual, that Binance was targeted, okay, in a big way because of the Bitcoin ETF. Yeah, buddy, I see you. And with Binance being the way it is and as big as it is, they were shopping around. BlackRock was shopping around for somebody to do custody for them. In my opinion, oh God, I hate this ad. Sorry, guys. I can't do these side ads. I can't get rid of it either. There. Yeah, buddy, hold still. You gotta go bounce, bounce, bounce. Yeah. There he is. I got rid of it. So, I think they were targeted because, like I said, BlackRock was looking for somebody that they could put their money into, and I guarantee you that Binance didn't want to cooperate, and they're thinking the same thing here in India. Well, this is just you don't want to work with us. We're not going to do this for you, kind of thing. Anyways, it says, moreover, the development occurs as India is attempting to increase mandates on the market. Okay, crypto, again, really can't be regulated. This is the thing that these guys don't get, right? They're missing the point here. I mean, here are the 9 that they're going to ban or they're going to attempt to ban. I don't use Huobi, Gate.io, Bitstamp, right? Bitfinex, Mexi Global. So the Mexi Global thing, of course, is tied to ETC because they're supposed to be listed on them pretty soon, or, as far as that's concerned. and they're supposed to be the big listing, right? So that kind of kills off one big country if they wanted to invest into this. I mean, let's just say that, you weren't using your MetaMask to, mine to, or not mine to, but get rewards from your ETCMC node, right? After this whole thing happens. So that, you say you don't want it. Say when you go straight to an exchange with it. Well, there you go. You're out of that. You're completely out of that. Anyway, for the most part, this is pretty much all I got today. As you can see, I'm a little busy with my son here right now, and so we're going to get on moving on as far as that's concerned. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. I appreciate you, every last one of you. Discord, you can join the Discord if you. I can put the link here in the chat real quick for you if you want. That would be perfectly. Yes, I love you too, buddy. I can put the link in the chat for you real quick so that you guys have it if you want to join it. If you're not a member, I definitely would love to, have a few more friends stop by to do, to have those conversations that we all like. I had a really good one last night with Ark's Crypto, and I had a good one involved the Ark and Motor City Miner. It was awesome sauce. So there's that. I pinned it. It's pinned to the top. So if you guys get a chance, stop on by. I always have discounts on stuff. If you're looking for ASICs or whatever, Coastal Crypto, Jingle Mining, right? Chain Critical's got some good stuff as far as cables are concerned. So whatever you guys need, if you need anything at all, if you got questions about anything I'm doing or anything else, and you just want to sit and, and you want to, and if you just want to talk like he does, then by all means, just drop on by. All right. Well, you guys have a safe afternoon, and obviously I'm Will, and this has been the Pellish Miner channel live. I don't do too many of them that often, so I'll be seeing you guys soon. Oh, by the way, check out some of my other videos if you get a chance. See?